Hello, I'm here with Vojta and Sanki in the Czech Republic, in Prague, and they're giving me a tour of their storage room for computer history and video game history, right? Let's take a look at what you have right now.
So we're here at the Czech Game Archive, and we just last year started moving into a new place. So we're still setting up a bit. Not everything is finished, but there's already a lot of very interesting things here. So this is our storage. Of course, right from the start, we just very recently got 2 arcade cabinets. We usually don't deal with these because there's a big collector. Actually, we got it from him locally. But these 2 are very interesting because they were made locally. There was one guy in the 80s who was repairing arcade cabinets basically for the whole country. They were at fairs. A lot of them were smuggled from Germany and other places. And later on, he even started making his own cabinets. So the collectors don't want them. They want the original machines. A lot of them get discarded, and we wanted to save at least some to show them. For example, the joysticks are made from parts of a shower, like the shower handle, and they needed to be very, very crafty in building these. Also, the monitors are Russian TVs because it was hard to get color monitors. So if you look inside, it's a TV that's like chopped up into pieces, and they made their own connector that is pin compatible with JAMA, but made from connectors that were available locally. So very interesting local history here.
Yep.
Then we have some Czech computers and Slovak computers here. The 2 most famous ones are the PMD. This is a Slovak computer from the company Tesla, which is for Czechoslovakia. It was the state-owned company that had basically a monopoly for electronics, and this line of computers was mainly used in schools and computer clubs. It's a very, very interesting design. They made several revisions. So this is the PMD 85-2.
Does it have expansion ports or something like that? In the back?
Yeah, there's a lot of ports. Of course, you have basic there, as you have in every computer, but you could exchange the main loaded thing, because this whole thing up here is like a giant ROM module, and you can see it's a bit hard to pull out. Yeah, so but it uses the same type of the green connector. Those are Tesla made, so of course they use their own connectors. And then of course it usually used tapes, but
It only
also
has
disk drives.
the second worst keyboard
Yeah.
of our computers.
It's like it very easily gets stuck, especially because it's so old, and the keys aren't replaceable, so it's a very hard to do the repair.
Is this a different one?
Yeah, this is the first model. You don't have
Here without the...
yeah.
The module.
And the first model had a better keyboard, actually. That one had a different problem, that the keys very easily get smudged. But it's like very
And another unit
very
there.
hard to find one in a good condition.
What about this?
This is a board from the SAPI computer, which is also Czech made. That was like more of an industrial computer with very modular design. We don't have that one, but we just were able to acquire one of the boards. And
Is this a power supply or a peripheral?
that's the power supply.
Power supply, yeah.
There are 2 kinds of power supplies. This one is modified, so you even can put out the voltages for your own projects.
Yep.
This row is the older type of power supply that was used.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then the second most popular Czech computer. I think we have that one here. Yeah. It's also modular. It uses these cartridges for various. Once again, you could change the programming language. So this is the basic cartridge. Once again, green connectors. But you could even exchange the graphical capabilities. So, for example, you have the graphic module that you need, but then you have Video 32, and you could also have a high resolution Video 64 card, but that had like it was slower. You needed to fill all of the pixels. This is the computer. It's called IQ151. It's very heavy. Here is the bay for the expansion cards. Very heavy due to the transformator. The keyboard is these are buttons from a phone, so they are very hard, and it was very, very hard to type on it for a long time. Your fingers start hurting very easily. And the computer is very well known for its stories about how it's also a coffee warmer, because it got so hot during its operation, and very often it overheated and turned off, so you needed to save your stuff to tape very often.
Is that a part of a cabinet of a similar unit?
That's the same unit, but it is modified because this was somebody that was a power user, and he not only had extra boards, so we can have a look at the PCB for the computer. Here you can see that's the PCB. It's all Tesla chips, but I think it's 8080 based. Tesla cloned a lot of Western chips and made equivalents, also some Russian chips. And he was using it a lot, so he did some modifications, like making the power source external. So this is a cutout power source from it, and making the keyboard external. So he just chopped it off and used once again the typical
same
green
connector. Yeah.
so he could sit farther away from the computer.
Here's your bachelor's thesis.
Yeah.
And some Commodore 64s.
This is
Right.
school microcomputer PMA-80, once again from the Slovak branch of Tesla Piešťany, the one that did the PMD computer we saw at first. This is a really, really simple computer that used just like a 7-segment display and just a hex keyboard. A very simple design, just a few chips. This is once again the 8080 clone and some I/O, nothing fancy. Of course, it was mainly used in school, so you have the diagram there and some of the assembly language guides and helps.
Yeah. Are you planning to emulate this on MAME?
This could be very easily added into MAME, and I already worked with it as my bachelor's thesis. I ported this computer to the Mr. FPGA platform, so that is already done as it uses standard components. A lot of the work was mostly working with the framework and building the pieces together. There's not a lot of software for it, but there is some, even some simple games. For example, a tennis game where the ball is one of the lines in the 7-segment display, and you just need to press the button when it's near you, and it gets faster and faster.
And I guess there's probably lots of educational materials for that, or some at least.
Materials, yeah, not software, sadly, but like books explaining how to program based on having these computers. And it's like one of these like case computers, so it could be easily stored in a cabinet in the classroom or something like that. So those are probably the most popular Czech and Slovak made computers.
Okay, so I think I'll stop here, but we'll be looking at the other items, a few things that we may have in these boxes, perhaps. And
Definitely.
then, if we have more interesting stuff, I may shoot another video if we find other things to show. Thanks a lot for receiving me here and for giving this short description to the public. Thanks a lot.
Bye.